face the whole time.
Like Ricky
now.
Bobby.
Right. Hey, what's going on, everybody?
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah. Oh, I think I was thinking that it was live, and now we're live, so I guess I probably really should start talking. Just want to say welcome to episode number 117 of Mirrorless Minutes. Mike is at home for the first time in a month?
A month and a half. Oh my
gosh. That's crazy. And it works out really good because that's kind of the focus of what we're going to talk about tonight. My life has been busy with work, but not like Mike's. Mike's is next level stuff. But it's kind of the basis of tonight's show is just how do you work around this? Like, how do people make time to go shoot? You know, what is needed to do that? And it might surprise you. It might not necessarily be what you think. My idea of making time to go shoot with a busy work schedule is completely different than Mike's. But the fact is we're both trying to take advantage of what time we do have to go and shoot. So that's kind of the topic for tonight. I'm going to also spend a little bit of time talking about workshops. I'm going to give the complete dates for the UP workshop here. I'm not supposed to talk about it. I've been promising that I will wait until like the official announcement in conjunction with the camera store that I'm working with on this. But I've gotten a lot of messages this week asking if people missed it and, you know, like, when is it coming out? I need to put in vacation time, things like that. So forget, I'm just going to talk about it tonight.
Yeah.
So we got a here from Southeast Alaska. Hello up there in Alaska. Oh my God. I need to make it up there sometime.
Yeah. How the heck do we got to get there, man?
We'll get a workshop up there. Maybe Rich can be our boots on the ground and help location scout for us in advance.
Yeah. There you go.
So let's get started. Let's just talk about what you've been up to because your schedule is definitely crazy right now.
It still is. Yeah, but I you know what's funny is if people knew what you did all the time too, it's all very relative to what we're both used to. And I think, I mean, I'm used to a pretty crazy schedule, but never like this in my career has it been where I'm like in April, I get 4 days at home. 4 days at home sounds weird. But in fact, because I leave, I've got these days here till Easter, and then I leave again on Monday for actually 9 days. I'm gone through the weekend. It's been crazy. And the thing about shooting, I think is interesting is I have so much work to do in my job that I just told myself, you know what, how can I shoot during my job and still practice the craft? So I just became an event shooter for the last month and a half. But cool. It became an event, and I brought some pictures. I'm sure if the people knew I was showing the pictures of them, they'd probably be upset, but that's all right. There's not that many that watch the show. But I just try to end up being like a documentary, decisive moment street shooter, at my events. Why not? You could sit there and complain that you can't get out and shoot, or you could do something about it. And hey, we all have to do that, I think, at times. And I know you showed me, I think, what we talked the other day, Jamie and I blast each other every once in a while when we get a minute this month. And Jamie's showing me his shooting booth of product photography, which really looked really cool, actually. It looks like something you could, out of Willy Wonka, you could put in there and make some crazy stuff.
For sure.
With different colors. But so that's what I've been doing. I mean, I've just let it all go to event photography, and and I've been having a blast with it using the EM1X. But going back to the EM1 Mark II, I've used that a bunch. Too. I think it's great. My dog's making noise.
Yeah,
that's all right. This is really a live show.
This is a real show.
Yes. So how about you? You've got a lot planned and going on coming up. Oh my God.
Yeah. So I've just been really busy with my job. So I work in marketing for people who don't know that. And one of my responsibilities is taking care of this trade show that we do every year. It's a huge trade show for us. It's the biggest one we do in the lighting industry. And it's a big, 30 to 40,000 attendees or something like that over a couple of days. And we have a pretty large trade show booth. I think we occupy a 25-foot square. I shouldn't say I think. I know we occupy 25 by 25-foot square.
You're making it, right?
Yes, because I have to be very strategic about where I have electrical drops for our trade show booth done. And I'll be in Philadelphia a couple of weeks after my Moab workshop for this trade show. But leading up to that, I just had to do a lot of prep work, ordering new assets for the trade show booth. It's a big booth, and I've had the entire thing wrapped in vinyl with photos that I shot of our products in use. So it's kind of cool to see your stuff blown up to, on the big side, it's 15 foot tall and 9 foot wide. So some pretty big images that look pretty cool. But that's just kind of occupied my time, and it's stressful. And I'll be honest, like when I get out of work, I haven't wanted to shoot a lot, and just, you know, with things at home to do, it was hard to make the time. So the images that I'll show tonight, a lot of them were just really impromptu, last minute, just kind of run out the door because I think I've got about a half hour, 45 minutes that I can squeeze in and see if I can create something. It's been an exercise for me. But like you though, when I do this trade show in Philadelphia, I'll have some downtime there, and I'll be there documenting the trade show as well. And my go-to kit when I'm on these trade show trips for work is the Pen F and the 1.8 primes. Are kind of my jam because I can carry a small bag, you know, that doesn't look unprofessional if I'm walking around with it, and just have a whole kit in there.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
and then
In fact, that's mine next week. I'm going to San Francisco for 4.5, 5 days of work, but I'm taking the weekend, and it's all going to be Pen F. I'm not messing with anything else. I mean, you can do it all with that, you know, especially even if I want to shoot some bridge stuff, I still could do it with it. You know,
yeah, definitely. So. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. So just a quick question. So when I'm at this trade show, I'll be shooting, you know, I'm actually gathering assets for use in social media throughout the rest of the year and the upcoming year, you know, of our sales team interacting with people and our booth and just all of that stuff. Will you be able to use anything that you capture for anything that you do at work? Is that anything that you might hand off to people at your work, or is that just for personal?
Yeah, it's going to end up being personal. I don't know how much I could share it. Even tonight I'm a little worried, but they're so funny, it's worth it. But I've got some funny shots of some people. But yeah, I don't think I will. But you know what? When I can do that is like racing stuff though. You know, if I'm out doing some racing events and that's when
I'm going with you this summer.
I know.
This year.
We've got no
more not going to that. So just putting that out there.
Yeah, and we've got to get Olympus to send us now to some racing events. We sort of have a camera that'll work with it, you know.
Yeah, it's funny. You might have some inside scoop with
maybe
player in the racing world.
Something like 17 wins at the Indy 500, some crazy thing like that.
It's just a number, Mike. It's just a number.
That's right.
It's ridiculous number, but it is.
Yep, exactly.
Well, so that's just kind of, you know, and I'll just lay it out there. The way I've been handling this with my lack of time is forcing myself out the door and knowing that I can squeeze in between family and work 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. Some of the photos that I'll share tonight are literally taken 500, 600 feet from my door.
Really? Yep. I know what you're talking about.
it just depends on, you know, it's all about perspective. It's all about, you know, taking advantage of shallow depth of field with the primes, things like that, or using a long focal length to compress the background to kind of give the illusion you're somewhere else, things like that. And then, you know, some of the other photos that are towards the end here are going to be just where I finally gave up. And I said, screw it. I'm leaving. I'm going out and just doing this. And went out with some friends. I wasn't going to go. And then they coaxed me into it. And I just said, all right, I got to go. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And I think the message is just don't put the camera down, you know, find a way to not put the camera down. Even if it's every minute is work, you're still working with that camera, you know,
definitely.
It's really important, I think, because I know so many people I've talked to, and I know you do too, where they put it down and sometimes it's 3-4 months later, they haven't touched it. It's like, oh, you know, and then they're back into it and they're going, oh, I missed this. And well, you know what, just pick it up if you have to. Like you said, I know you try to carry yours in the car every day. That wouldn't be good for me. You would just see backs of bumpers and, you know, I would never, there's nothing interesting on a bumper to bumper ride home.
Right.
But I can tell you for yours, I think you shot one. I don't know if you're sharing it. That road was just awesome that you got with the fog or whatever. I think that was out by you. I mean, and I don't even know if you're sharing it. Yeah, that's just crazy. And I figured it was because it sort of reminds me of your area.
Right.
You know,
definitely is.
But it makes you feel good like that.
And I'm glad you mentioned that the people who put the camera down and then just kind of forget it for a while. And for some people, that's fine. You know, some people need that, you know, to just kind of clear their head out and just get a break from it. But I'm one of those people that are terrified of not shooting. It's like, I know for me probably, and for a lot of people, it's probably like riding a bike. You know, I could just put it down. I could come back a few months later, pick it up and just rock. But I'm terrified that it won't be that way. I'm terrified if I put it down, I'm going to find something else to do and never pick it up again. And you know what, people? I'm like completely freaking covered in this crap. I can't not do this.
You can't get out of it now. I know.
I'm kind of obligated till death.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever do that. But a big part of it for me too, though, is what you said, that it goes with me every day. Every day. It's the one thing that I never forget when I leave the house. I forgot my wallet the other day and turn around and come back and get it, but I didn't forget the camera bag. I mean,
so when you get to the airport and you forget your wallet, you just bring out your camera and say, "Hey, TSA, I'm a photographer."
Oh man, dude,
let me in.
That's terrifying thought to me. Arriving at the airport, no ID. I would freak out.
Yeah. Well, it's even worse if you lose it after you've traveled away. You know what I mean? And you want to come back home. You're like, yeah, sure, you live there.
It's a long walk back to Michigan from my next stop. So we'll see.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I mean, you're right. That's just kind of the gist of this, is to just stay active with it. You know, try to keep a camera with you when you can, and just take advantage of every minute you get. If it's your lunch break and you can walk outdoors, if you know that, bring a lens appropriate for that. If you have a macro lens, bring a macro lens. And for some people, and it used to be me, I used to feel self-conscious about walking out the door at lunch, not getting in my car and going away to eat, or not sitting down in our break room and having lunch. I used to feel weird about taking my camera outside and kneeling down and taking pictures of a flower or a rock or whatever it was. I used to think, boy, people probably think I'm a weirdo. Maybe I am a little bit, but you know, it's what we do. So if that's a hurdle for you, you'll get past it.
I think so. I agree with it. And if you can't, heck, if you can't even get outside, I've got a big window that looks outside. I set up time lapses next to my desk and just let it go, and then work on your photography through a window. Hey, it's a skill. I'm telling you. I bring in my lens skirt. I put it on my window. I know people go, "What are you doing, Bainey?" I said, "Just don't worry about it. Move on." You know, don't look at the man behind the curtain. But yeah, I'm shooting time lapses through the window. Just something, you know, you got traffic, everything else going by. Might as well.
Yep. I'm that guy at work who every time a storm comes in, people see me run upstairs to the conference room on the second floor. And I come downstairs and they're like, "Are you making a time lapse?" Like, like,
people start to know. I know. That's what I will say. I agree with you. There are the interested ones that see stuff coming in. They're going, "Hey, did you have your camera? Are you doing your time lapse?"
Exactly.
So all of a sudden you get a few new scouts for you, you know, watching the weather.
You know? Exactly.
And I think it's Steve says a good thing, and that's what we talked about with the show. We said, you know, I think it'd be good for everybody to know, and that's why I think this show works, is because we are two guys that are working, and we actually have jobs. Not that other photographers don't work. I don't want to put that out there. But you know, you try to do all of it, and it's tough sometimes.
It's so tough.
Yeah,
it really is. But it's funny because, and I'll be honest, this is what I do. Hi, Greg, from Australia. Man, nice.
Oh man, we are all over the place.
Yeah. I was gonna say that for me personally, when I'm having like a day where it's just rough at work and I'm thinking, man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to shoot. Seriously, I think, how in the world is Mike doing this? Because your work is, I don't even know where you're at half the time.
Yeah.
Seriously, I lose track. I wasn't even sure where you were at last week. Like, I think was it Arizona?
It was Arizona for the last 3 straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I just can't keep track of it, but
saw some great weather, you know. but I just didn't get out into it.
Right.
That's all right though. I mean,
So,
I got some good pictures.
It's good. It's good for everybody to hear that, though. I think that everybody struggles. Everybody has a creative block every once in a while, or just trying to find time. But there's time, and if you don't believe there's time, if you go back to my YouTube channel, not this one, and look way back in the archives, I spent like 6 months vlogging every day. Just my drive, either to work or home from work, was the majority of that vlog, and that was a big focus of it. Is just keep the camera in the car. If you're someplace where you can stop, people that live in, a big city or something like that, it's not quite as easy. But if you have any kind of a commute where you're not on a busy road all the time, man, have your camera with you. You just never know what you're going to see. And I got a lot of my favorite shots just on my drive home.
For sure. So, yeah, absolutely. So I know you want to talk about workshops?
Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely talk about it.
Because we've got some new ones coming. I mean, we've got ours together, and we can say it's sold out, but we can talk about the crazy thing with the hotel, just in case, so people understand we're not lying. I feel so bad about the workshop people that
I'll let you talk about the hotel.
Okay, yeah, because we're going to Pittsburgh. Okay, Pittsburgh is great. We're excited. Jamie and I have never really shot there. We know it's an amazing city. Couldn't be more excited. So I'm trying to set up these hotels with my national guy. I find a couple Marriott hotels, and everybody's quoting me these prices like that are sky high, Chicago prices, and then Pittsburgh prices. I go, what's going on? They go, well, the NFL schedule isn't released yet, and we don't know if the Steelers are playing that weekend. So I'm going, oh my God. Didn't even really put two and two together with the fall workshop in Pittsburgh and football. So it's okay, because we're just going to hope that the Steelers aren't playing. At the end of this month, the NFL schedule comes up, and we'll hope that it's not that bad, because it's like, so what are we, September 14th, right? 13, 14, 15?
13, 14, 15, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be the first real game, if it is. I mean, that's an early season game, so I'm hoping that they're away or something. If not, we might be outside of the city a bit in a hotel.
Bring your tent.
Right. But no matter what, we will find a place.
Right.
Yeah, we'll find a place.
So we do that workshop, 13th, 14th, and 15th. I have a week off, and then it's the following week is my workshop in the UP.
Oh, geez.
So that's going to run from the 26th, 27th. Well, the let me rephrase this. 26th is the meet and greet. We'll get together. That's a Thursday night. So everybody will kind of meet up at the hotel, and we'll just kind of go over what you can expect from this workshop, and just kind of introduce the teachers, the instructors, because I'm having two with me this year, which is completely different. I'm trying something different here. And the actual working dates are the 27th and the 28th, and maybe something in the morning of the 29th. And in all honesty, the 26th, the meet and greet night, just depending on weather and what the conditions are doing, I mean, we could just jet out from the hotel and just shoot for a little bit that night. I've got a couple of locations picked out that we could shoot at night that would be pretty cool, because I timed this out like I did Moab in new moon, which means it's going to be dark. And if you're in the Upper Peninsula with a new moon, it's crazy dark. So, the aurora tends to happen a lot, or it's, visible a lot up that way if there's any kind of activity. So with the skies being that dark, even if it's faint, maybe we can, luck out with that. We'll see. But those are the dates. It's going to be the 26th is the meet and greet, and then the 27th and the 28th, the Friday and Saturday, are all day into the night events. It'll be fun. The premise of this workshop is similar to last year's. Last year was mostly focused on waterfalls. This year it's going to be an equal split, though, between waterfalls and coastlines. Some of it's going to be repeat locations from last year. One of them in particular is a place called Paradise Cove or Paradise Point. It is probably, hands down in my mind, one of the top 2 or 3 most beautiful places I've ever seen in this state. It's just... How
far up in the UP is it?
So Paradise Point is in Munising.
Okay.
It's... I mean, if you're familiar with that, it's going to be about almost an hour east of Marquette.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But we're going to be spending time in Marquette too. At Black Rocks, the lake, the state park there that just has these beautiful, looks like Maine.
Yeah, it does.
And then,
amazing.
Yeah, and then waterfalls, of course, there's going to be some new ones on there. And then I think one waterfall that we visited last year will be kind of a repeat, but it should be fun, and it's the UP in September. So who knows what the weather's going to be. Our workshop was really good. We had one day at the beach last year where the wind was just crazy and the waves were like 15, 20 foot tall waves. So it was pretty wild.
Yeah, which is cool shots too.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And I know that there's probably no one here listening in Michigan, in northern Michigan, that would want to do this, but I'll throw it out there anyways. I'll give it a plug. I'm going to be speaking at the Camera Shop of Traverse City on May 11th. I'm just going to do a talk. It's going to be kind of like an open format in a way. I do want to focus on mirrorless cameras, mirrorless technology, just kind of how they work and to my benefit as a landscape and nature photographer. But at the same time, I'm going to be talking about also, I'm plugging my workshop up there as well. I'm going to be talking about the workshop experience, what that's all about. So They've got me for an hour. My presentation on mirrorless cameras and all that takes about 35, 40 minutes. So it leaves me about 20 minutes to talk about, education, what that means, what the benefit of a workshop is. So if you're in the Traverse City area, Saturday, May 11th, swing on up. It'd be cool to see you.
Yeah.
And maybe go out shooting a little bit afterwards. Who knows? We'll see.
That sounds cool. I like that. Yeah, great area. I know I'll be up there, going up there with Lou actually in October
nice.
To shoot. Yeah, to shoot sometime. We'll see. The wives are coming along, so we'll see how much we get out. But
nice. Yeah. If you want ideas on places to go, I don't know what you want to shoot.
Yeah.
I know the area pretty good. I'm up there a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, let me throw one more thing out real quick.
Yeah.
Just another reminder for people to join the Mirrorless Adventures meetup group. Just because I have decided that this year, you did this a lot the past few years. You just did a lot of just free meetups and hangouts with people.
Yeah.
And this year I'm going to do the same thing on the west side of the state, but I'm going to go further up from where I camp at. So it'll be up towards the Whitehall, near the Silver Lake Dunes, Ludington, Frankfort, up towards Traverse City. I'm just going to try to schedule some meetups up there, and I really want to schedule a couple astrophotography meetups.
Oh, cool.
And just get people out on the lake shore on a nice warm summer night and just shoot the Milky Way and star trails and all that. So again, if you're in Michigan or going to be in Michigan this summer into the fall, just swing over to meetup.com/mirrorless adventures. Sign up there so you can get notified, because who knows, I might be running something, a free event on one of the weekends that you're around. So
that's a good deal. I may be in one of those with you. Come up to there. That would be fun. Yeah.
Definitely fun. Definitely fun. So
it's not something that you get to do a lot in Detroit. See a lot of Milky Way. Right?
No. If you go to the gas station and get one out of the candy rack,
there you go. You can see a lot of them there. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So do you want to fire off a couple of photos, or?
Yeah, I could fire off some photos, and and I think even before I do it, I want to talk real quick. So these event things, the one tip I want to give about shooting events, and this is my own event, so I guess I'm talking to myself, but I do work with other photographers at events. In fact, I hired Lou out here in Detroit to shoot some stuff for me in the fall, usually for an event that I just don't have time to do it. But is do your pre-work, and this is like, I'm sure Jamie, you've shot weddings. Your pre-work is the most important part. Like, when is this going to happen? What's most important to you? And if you can get to run a show, that's what I always call it, to run a show ahead of time, the agenda of, hey, this is when this cool thing's going to happen. And that is so important to, for your clients and in every way, to make sure you're, satisfying them as well, because some of us are doing it for money. Obviously you're doing a wedding or something. So, but all right, can you see the bus here and people coming off?
I sure can.
Okay, so simple things like this. This goes right into that. The run. When are the buses going to arrive? Where will they stop at? Where will they park? How will people come off? We had 125 people attend this event from everywhere in the country, 4 different European countries, Puerto Rico, all over the place. So you've got a lot there's a lot of faces that are only together once a year, so you only have a minute to capture them as they're coming off, but you make them feel like stars, like they're coming into a big production here, and that's what we were doing there today. And then so we also did some other events during the week. One of them was Top Golf. Jamie, I don't know if you've ever done Top Golf. You don't need to be a golfer.
Yeah.
But Top Golf's a lot of fun. A lot of them building out here in the Detroit area. We've got 2 right now. But when you're doing these, you've got bright lights where everybody's playing golf. You've got dusk behind you. So you've got all kinds of crazy different lighting things. I was shooting with a flash here. But finding the best, finding these teams of people and that really don't know each other, but finding them and getting them to act silly or whatever it may be is so important, because I use this group actually as an example for all the others, because I had to do 17 groups. I said, look, let's have some fun. Let's get together. Let's show something in the background to say where you are. It says Top Golf, all the different pieces. If you can do this all pre-work before you go down there, so you know what your shots will look like. Envision the shot, I guess, is what I'm saying. And so we had a crazy event, and this here was, have you ever heard of the game Say What, Jamie?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so Say What usually is just with noise-canceling headphones, but we had to take it a step further, and we attached 6-inch ears with long earrings onto headphones and man buns and bows and did some crazy stuff. And then we made them play super loud rock music in their ears so they really couldn't hear anything. And it's like telephone game if you ever played it. Starts at one end, goes to the other. The hilarious things that they say are amazing by the other end. Watch Ellen DeGeneres. She does this all the time. But just some of the people, HR people that are there, and they're trying to understand what the heck they're saying because they can't hear anything, but they have to lip read. So, but these are the kind of things, these emotional, sorry if you're hearing my dog squeak this darn toy. These emotional times, when you can get great shots like this, decisive moment. This is no different than shooting to me on the street, finding the decisive moment when laughs going on and that type of thing. Some craziness, even like this one, you've got guy in the left cracking up, a lady in the back cracking up, and the other one in the middle going, I don't know what's going on, because he didn't know what he was saying. So different things like that. Guy with a long beard, ponytails, big ears, you can't get much better than that. But then we did, the group did a thing called Operation Gratitude, where we, everyone in the group wrote 10 letters to the troops. And then we went outside and built 1,500 care kits for them to be sent overseas. So it was a real good giving back scenario. Different things like they're going to drop the letters in this big box that we had, and then they're outside building care kits for the next 2 hours. Putting them in bags, labeling them properly, and all that. So it's a real good time to do that. So just make sure that you get the good run of show, I think is really the key to me, that you know what you're doing. And hey, it's to me, it's no different than street shooting, documenting what's going on. It's a fun time. I'll throw together a slideshow and stuff for everybody. But, I think if I ever shot a wedding, I'd have to do it like from that sense. I don't know if I could ever do the main shooter piece with all the poses and that. I'd probably flip out.
Right. Yeah, I hear you.
I mean,
the more photojournalistic look is
yeah, exactly.
It just feels more real, less contrived.
Yeah. And that's how I kept my camera going. I mean, I shot for a month and a half. I've shot over 1,000 pictures. So I'm still in this groove. It's just nobody's seeing them. That's all.
That's the thing. I'm shooting and I just can't share.
Yeah, I just really can't share. But all right. So how about you? Let's see what you got.
You guys set up a fun event. That looked like a blast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Say What was hilarious.
So you talked about getting the run of the show and knowing the agenda for the events. You set everything up, right? Wasn't it mostly you kind of organized?
I did. And so I guess in some cases, it's very easy because I dictate what's going on. But at the same time, on these other ones, I don't dictate. I do work with the photographer. Like Lou has worked with me in that, because we do slow roll, and I can't take the pictures, get the guys on slow roll, and all the other BS that goes along with it. Lou shoots that for me, but we position Lou at different spots, and you work. I think the best way is to envision what you want to see.
Nice, yeah.
And get there and pre-work it. No different than you and I do when we set up for workshops.
Exactly.
Really. I mean, pre-work it. Look, yep. Research. The shooting's the small part of it, really.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah.
All right, I'll just do really quick. I just got a few. I'll blow through these. So the gist of this was, Jamie, get your butt outside and take some photos. And so that's basically, this was literally like 500 or 600 feet from my house. There's an empty lot that actually kind of backs up to like a bigger empty area at the edge of town. And it was just getting towards sunset. I was running out of time, and I thought, I just have to find something. I need to find the light. What is the light doing? And I found these plants, and I think they're called teasel. I might be wrong. I try to get all nerdy with plant names and stuff like that. But they're just really cool. They're really spiky. And at sunset, the sunlight was backlighting them, and it just gave them this glow. And no, this isn't straight out of the camera. Obviously, I kind of did some post-processing here, which I'll talk really quick about that in a second. But this is with the EM1X. That's just kind of, I'm walking around with that camera all the time now. That is my all the time camera. So this is with the EM1X, and this is with the 25 millimeter f1.2 wide open at f1.2. So I was kind of close to these plants as I shot it, and I'm shooting into the sun on purpose because I want the backlight and I just want that soft, warm look to it. The post-processing I said I'd talk about briefly. I'll talk way more about this in an upcoming show. It's part of my transition into a completely different piece of software. I am in love with On1. Holy cow. I'll tell you what, I feel like I've been getting ripped off and screwed over by Adobe as far as how they treat the raw files from my cameras compared to what On1 does. They come out so sharp and so detailed without me touching any of the sharpness sliders right out of the gate. It's astounding. I mean, it really is. I'm going to fanboy out here on them. So I want to talk to these people. Their software is great. So color graded in On1. Basically, heck, I'm almost using Lightroom just for cataloging at this point, to be honest with you, and just kind of pumping things right out over into On1 until I get more familiar with managing everything just using that software. But right now, man, I'm just really digging it. The next shot, this is the same area. So if you're looking at this pole building, the galvanized steel building in the center of the frame, off to the left, that's where that teasel was at. And this is the same night. So it just kind of gives you an idea of how different perspectives, different color treatments, things like that can completely change the feel of an image. And this is with the EM1X and the 7 to 14 millimeter at 7 millimeters. I didn't even try to perspective correct this, keystone comp it or anything like that. I just wanted it looking freaky crazy with just a massive sky in front of me. And it was just, again, this was run through On1 as well. Just, this was kind of me learning more and more about the software, just kind of playing with selective adjustments of the blues and the greens and the oranges and things like that. Again, super happy with the sharpness that comes out of On1. The next one, this is, well, everybody knows what this is if they're watching this. This is the barn that I go shoot all the time. They've been doing some prescribed burns out there. This actually is an area that is a pheasant's forever habitat. So they burn it down every couple of years, let everything grow fresh and thicker and healthier for the pheasant to have a good habitat. When I got out there and saw this humongous swath of just ash and black, I thought, man, I've got to figure out a way to work this into the scene. So I just walked out into the ash and just got really low. And this is with the 12 to 200. The 12 to 200, everybody. That's the lens that they've been talking about a lot lately. Putting that kind of through its paces and just got low and shot this. I kind of wanted to zoom in a bit, to compress the foreground a little. And this is almost straight out of the camera. Not a whole lot was done to this. So yeah, 12 to 200 on the EM1X. The next three shots are shot with a group of friends. I wasn't going to go, and I kind of got guilted into going. So we just took this kind of crazy whirlwind adventure west of here, trying to find some things to shoot. A place we were going to go shoot totally didn't pan out, but we passed this little lake on the way. We were supposed to be shooting from a big rise, a big bluff where you could see out over the tops of the trees, and we were going to shoot sunset there. On the way there, we passed this little lake that had these little islands on it. And I thought, man, that's such a cool lake. We get to the bluff. There's no bluff. It's actually just grown over with trees. You can't see anything. And I'm like, all right, we should just hustle back to this lake. So we got to the lake just in time as the sun was starting to set. And this is the 7-14. I did not bring my adapter for the filters for my 7-14. So what I ended up doing with this was bracketing these shots. So this is a series of 3 shots bracketed at plus or minus 3 EV. Run through on 1 again. I gave it a matte finish, and then I did a little bit of selective coloring. I just enhanced the yellows, the oranges, the magentas, and the blues in this, and just kind of let it rock and roll. This faded look is basically just me doing this for Instagram because it's just, they seem to work well on Instagram, and I kind of like the faded look. On the way to that lake, though, these 3 should have probably been first, but we passed by this abandoned house that I'd shot in the past, and it was fun to go visit that house with a different group of people and just kind of watch them as they walked through and saw how they approached everything. I'm so attracted to this room. It sounds so weird, but the color in this room there's just something about it. I don't know. I feel weird talking about abandoned places like this, that I get so excited about shooting them because a lot of people see this and they think that it's horrible and it's gross and it's sad, but there is like this sad beauty to it. And the light in this house is just astounding. So this was shot with the 12-40 on the EM1X. This is a bracketed shot. I could not bracket far enough, I don't think, handheld to get the light from the window to not be blown out, but I was kind of cool with the way it looked anyways. Processed through on 1 again, to give it a little bit of a matte look and just to bring out the turquoise or teals in the paint on the wall. Next shot, I haven't done black and white in a while, and I was just really feeling a black and white moment shooting through the front porch of this place, and that's just kind of what it was. It's funny because Frank Smith posted a photo that he shot, I think, in California near Death Valley in an abandoned place, and he was shooting through windows, and when he posted it, I thought, wow, I shot something very similar too. Great minds, I guess. And it just felt like it had to be in black and white for me. There's so much detail and texture in here, and I didn't want any distraction from color in this shot. Bracketed, handheld again. Same settings as before, plus or minus 3 EV. But I meant like f5.6 on this, so I have at least a little bit more depth in the shot. And then the last one, kind of the same thing, just a different angle. Lots of color in this one. Same setup though, 12-40 on the EM1X, bracketed plus or minus 3 EV. Everything that I shared tonight is processed through on 1. I'm really starting to like the way that software operates. I'm recommending it. I'm telling people, go get that software.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because I do use that. I wouldn't say probably as much as you, but I've used it for years. There's certain things it does better. I mean, maybe it is the way it handles the raw files, and maybe I don't even realize what I'm saying when I see them. But
it really does. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you know what I like most actually out of it is dumping live composites into it for the raw files because of the sharpness of the lines. And now it makes sense. If you're saying that must be why I'm liking it too, is because it's so much sharper, it seems like.
I haven't done that. I haven't done any Milky Way shots through it yet either. So man, you got me excited about that. Mm-hmm. I'm really excited about that. Yeah,
no, it's cool when you're so deep into everything, and all of a sudden you say, "Hey, this is something I haven't seen before."
Right. Right. It feels good to kind of get away. No, actually, Andrew, I do not convert. I don't convert to DNG in Lightroom.
No.
I work strictly with the raw file. For me personally, I like the concept of what DNG is. It was supposed to be like this universal raw file,
forever.
Forever, and you wouldn't need a camera specific raw file that you have to worry about all the time. But for me, it's an extra step, and I just don't personally see a benefit from that. But what I wanted to throw out there really quick is, you can download a free trial of this software. I really suggest. And right now, I just sent my buddy Jerry James over to their website. I think that the software is normally like $99. It's on sale right now for $69.
Oh, geez.
every single bit of that.
It's a third off.
It's a third off. And
Yeah.
hold on, let me pull up the email from when I purchased it, because you get a ton of stuff with it as well.
That's exactly. I mean,
ton
I
of stuff.
always say, I mean, I get free presets.
Yes.
Every month and a half or something. I mean, I've been getting them for years, and they're awesome.
So here's what you get. You remember we sat down with Matt Kloskowski in Chicago on that panel. So Matt has a creative a course, like a video course that you can download. It's on creative looks and styles. There's actually, let's see, he's got the presets that go along with the video course. He's got some lookup tables or LUTs for landscape photography that you get. Tamara Lackey has a video on using creative textures that you can get. She has a texture pack of presets that you get. Dude, there's a ton. There's like, I think 8 or 9 things you get here for free if you buy it, and it's $60.
Yeah,
Worth it. It really is.
It really is when you break out the cost of things.
Yeah,
today.
I like it so much I bought it. So
yeah, exactly. But
yeah, I guess we're about at the.
Yeah, it's funny how we both said before the show, like, what are we going to talk about? And we figure a way to go over 30 minutes.
Oh no, Andrew said that the On One site is down.
Oh
man,
you just crashed it, Jamie.
Our flood of viewers have crashed the On One site.
I love it. Well, that'll go down in history.
Yeah. So the next show, you guys, this is really up in the air. I'll be in the desert somewhere during that show, and I doubt I'll have the ability to do the show because I'm going to be teaching people.
Right.
If I do have a signal, I will try to drop in if Mike's got the show up and running. We still haven't determined if that's what we're doing yet or not.
Yeah.
We haven't had time to talk about it.
I know. And I know I'm on a special project that night. So for that whole week, we may not be doing it. You may find that show move to a week. I'll still be traveling, but at least I'd have a hotel.
Yes. So the next scheduled show is probably not going to be for another 3 weeks.
Could be 3 weeks. I'm bringing the dog in. He won't stop.
It can't be 4 weeks because then I'll be in Philadelphia then. So
no,
it has to be
3 weeks. Actually, doesn't sound bad. So this is how Jamie and I talk. Now you're really getting to see the inside.
Yeah. How about you guys just figure out when the heck we're going to do the next show?
Yeah, just give us.
We don't know what we're doing here.
Let's take a vote.
Right.
I think we'll get Spencer to do it. All right.
Thanks for tuning in. And again, as always, we just want to tell you guys, we really appreciate you coming in and jumping in the chat room and chatting us up. It's great. It's a great thing for us to have you guys out there.
Exactly.
And we'll see you guys
in a few weeks.
Take care.
All right. See ya. Bye.